You're on fucking
Yeah,
notice.
leave work at home.
You're on fucking leave work at home.
Okay. Or leave work at work.
Congratulations, Dan. You've made another intro.
No more triples.
Yeah. Fuck.
What's the haps on the hops? Got yeast, that's beast. This the molten hour where we talk about our drink and tell you what we think every other week. And if we get drunk, well, we might slur our speech. Got the gift of gab, the friends you wish you had. Join us for a drink, join us for a laugh. Time is never wasted, where you getting wasted. The molten hour here, people take your places. People take your places. People take your home.
Welcome to the Malting Hour. I am one of your hosts, Tony Golick, joined always with
Brandon Winninger.
and back like something that hasn't been around.
Dan.
Welcome back, Dan.
Welcome back,
Thank
Dan.
you. Thank
Sorry,
you.
I thought I was gonna have something like back like a something attack, but the only thing that can pop into my head was a heart attack. And you don't want to start. That's not a positive way to start. Like
No.
back like a heart attack.
High cholesterol.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you don't. Number one.
Back like the clap.
Okay, that's even worse. Like, number one, you don't ever want a heart attack. And number two, you don't want, like, a heart attack to return. Like, that seems like a bad thing. So,
Heart
back,
attack 2. You're
back
done.
with the stack of beer. Dan. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, I said I could let you say it. How you guys doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Good, good.
Doing well. It feels good to be back.
Well, and we do have a guest with us this week. If you read the description of the episode, if you didn't read the description, then all of this is a surprise. This might even be your first episode, and if it is, what a weird place to start. We are joined with
Joe Steigerwald.
Joe. What is it that you do, and why are you here?
Hey guys, I'm the marketing guy for DryHop Brewers, Corridor Brewery and Provisions, and Crushed by Giants, all in Chicago. 2 of them are in Lakeview. 1 is in River North, Streeterville. And the reason I'm here is, Tony and I went to school together when we were little guys.
I like that you went straight on that because that's where I was going to go with it. I'm just going to let you host the rest of the show. Thank you.
Why are you here?
Band-Aid, rip it off.
Rip it right off.
Aside from the beer thing, why are you here?
Awesome segue, Joe. We I start. When did you start going to Our Lady of Victory, R.I.P.?
Yeah, bye Our Lady Victory. It's still standing. It's just
Still there,
I think
it's just not open.
Empty. Yeah. I started in first grade.
First grade. So I started there second grade, and then we both finished there
Yeah,
all the way through. And then we hung out a little bit in high school,
a little bit.
and then that was it. We said no more, no more Tony and Joe.
Both of us were like, I've had enough of that guy.
And then maybe I think we hung out one more time when I lived in Palatine for a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And then since then we were like, no thanks. Don't
I
want
think
to
so.
see each other.
I'm sensing a theme that your friends that you used to hang out with decide not to hang out with you for a while.
But then they come back.
The same thing happened with Brandon.
Yeah,
pretty
it's
much.
the same story. It's just that was high school. Joe was grade school. And Joe, you being in the industry that you are, obviously, we've crossed paths. Mm-hmm. And again, and I'm excited. And you're actually, not to give away where Brandon lives, but in your old neighborhood.
Yeah. I grew up. I won't. I won't give it away if it's a secret.
Don't
but
do it.
I grew up 4 blocks away from here, almost exactly, like to the block and almost practically to the house. It's pretty crazy.
And here we are 20 years later, where we, 4 blocks away from where we used to play Nintendo.
What wasn't it? Steph lived around the corner?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
grew up around the corner. Yeah.
Fanny grew up around here as well.
And like Mike from high school. Anyway, the one thing I was going to say, the OLV nugget that I have is, if you didn't know, this week they filmed an episode of Chicago Fire there.
Dude, yes.
And they built all of this massive stuff outside, and after, in a lot of the neighborhood groups I'm in, I found out what the episode was about. It is an airplane crashing into the school. And at one point in this structure they built, you could see not the like the engine and part of the fuselage like sticking out of this structure. And I think Monday or Tuesday night, out of nowhere, they 9:00 at night, it was just like it was like an explosion just going off, and I was like, what the fuck was that? And the next morning, some woman requested to join the neighborhood group that I run, and I was like, this says you live in Alabama or Louisiana. I was like, why do you want to join this group? She was like, well, I'm a flight attendant, and I'm staying in a crash pad by Wilson Park. She's like, I need to know if those were gunshots. And I'm like, no, they're filming Chicago Fire. She's like, oh, that makes me feel better. And I said, it was about a plane crashing into a school. And she didn't respond.
There it is, the Chicago Fire recap here in Jeff Park. It is funny though. I saw that. I saw the picture of the actual, like they showed the engine, like looks like it was because they built like a fake building.
Yeah. So then I was like, I got to watch that episode. And
I've never watched a single.
Neither have
Chicago.
I. And my wife was like,
seen it.
we should watch that. And I was like, I know a lot of people that actually do watch it, but
Most people I know.
My mother-in-law really likes it. It's too over the top.
it's a lot of people that are not from Chicago that tend to like it.
Oh, I know some people who are from the suburbs, so yeah, they're not from Chicago. Burn. Anyways, we're not here to talk anymore about the old neighborhood. Joe, we brought you on because, man, you got a ton of beer with you tonight.
So I work for 3 breweries, so I can't show up with like a beer and be like, you guys get the idea. Like that's
I poured a bunch of beers into one can.
yeah.
Figure out which ones are in here.
I brought
mystery beer.
mega beer today.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of beers in one. No, so I brought a bunch of stuff and figured we'd all taste it together, go through a little bit of the story. So for each brewery, I brought our flagship beer, and then I also brought a beer recommended by the brewer at the brewery. So something that we have on all the time, and then something in most cases brand new. So do you want to go right into the first beer?
let's do it, man. This is awesome. So what's the first brewery that we're
So
starting
first
with?
brewery we're going to start with is from DryHop. That's the one that's been around the longest. We're this summer we'll be celebrating our 9th anniversary.
Congratulations, DryHop.
Yay, DryHop. And a lot of the crew's still there from day one, so it's awesome to hang out with them and hear all the stories. I need to catch up. I've only been there for a year so far. But we have Shark meets Hipster. It's a wheat IPA. Super duper tasty. The name of the beer is just kind of funny, like a little joke for anybody. It's a shark eating a hipster kind of a thing.
Yeah, I like it.
The beer or the name.
Watch out, hipsters, both. I do. A wheat IPA, that's I can't. I know I've had a wheat IPA at some point in my life. I may have actually even had this beer. Clark probably would have told me by now if I have had this beer. Clark's normally our fact checker. Hi, Clark. What do I call him? Poor dumb Clark. That's
dumb
what
Clark.
is. Thank you, Dan.
Dan's like, yeah,
I'll try to
No,
fit it.
Dan, don't worry about it. It's okay. I'm pretty sure I've had this, but I do like this beer. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut off.
No,
your,
it's all
explanation
good.
of that.
So this one, like I said, it's been around for a long time. They've been brewing it for about 9 years now. As far as this most recent batch and how it was made, I have no idea.
Cool.
Zach down at the brewery, if you want to ask him, he's the guy who makes it nowadays. Hit him up.
Let's get Zach on the phone.
You guys know a Zach
find
too?
Find Zach. Yeah, Zach. We know a Zach on this show. We don't want to meet him.
With 2 Ks.
No, this is just a 1K. Zach,
Yeah,
so.
So I do have 6 friends on Untapped have had it, and nobody on the show has had it.
Damn it. Maybe I'm just familiar with the name somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, it is
it's a unique name.
a very unique name, but it stood out to me as being familiar. But this is straight up. So it's a wheat IPA, but it's obviously feels very more focused on a West Coast style IPA than a double dry hop juicy IPA.
And it's clear.
Yeah, and you can see through it, which is nice. I can see my finger. There's a little wheat haze on there.
Is there
But
gluten in this beer?
I don't know, man. Probably. It didn't say gluten free. It's wheat beer. This is awesome. I like the idea. I used to be a huge wheat beer fan when I started home brewing because it was an easy beer for me to make because it's 50%. Well, when I was doing it, 50% wheat, 50% pale malt, whatever the hops you want to throw in there, and that was it. You always got good body, good head retention. It was great. I never did a hoppy wheat beer. But to me, it makes a lot of sense. I like it more than the idea of a overly sweet IPA because that's not what I get from this. And I also never really got into brewed IPAs.
Yeah.
Is those still a thing?
I had one at a brewery like a week ago, so somebody's making them.
All right. I won't ask what it was, but I will ask, did you like it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Excellent.
I do.
Now you can say now you can tell us if you want to what it was.
Yeah, it was from Burning Bush. So
Okay.
if you
Yeah, Burning Bush. Yeah.
Yeah, Burning Bush. Super great guys. They just celebrated their 2nd anniversary.
Yeah.
And the reason I know a lot about Burning Bush right now is because we just did a collaboration with them.
Awesome.
So we did a series, 2 beers. So that's a series, right?
Yeah. Makes sense.
Their version and our version. They're Italian soda-inspired Pilsners.
That sounds awesome.
Ours is like a lime Ricky version, so it's a cherry and lime, and then their version has a blood orange in it. And you can get both at both spots, so pretty cool.
That's cool.
It's out right now.
Yeah, just came out last week, so pretty new.
See you guys later. I'm going to Burning Bush because it's right down the street from us. Well, not right.
Dan, have you been to Burning Bush?
Yes. Yeah, it's right by swim school. So
Oh yeah.
we've hit that up.
We've talked about that.
When we were looking at daycares for my kid, there's a daycare literally right next door, and we actually had him enrolled there. And then we got a spot that was closer to my parents' house, and I was like, we went with that one. I was like,
That would have been dangerous.
well, yeah, I mean, what are you going to go to the brewery before or after I pick my kid up?
After. After. Then you bring him into the brewery, you can have snacks. I'm pretty sure they have charcuterie there. There's some type of beer snacks there. Bar snacks.
Yeah, they have like cheese and stuff.
I really wish we would have been towards the end of this episode when you had to throw out charcuterie.
Charcuterie.
We're gonna try again in like 40
We'll do it.
minutes.
Yeah,
Right?
we're only. I did have a house lager earlier. That's been it. I was offered a beer by Jeff, and I only had water. What do you guys taking away from this beer here?
So I agree with you that it's a West Coast focused. I do like the fact, and it might be the wheat. I'm not a home brewer, just so Joe knows. So I've never really brewed, but I do like the body that I think the wheat may give off. It's sort of reminiscent, like it makes the body a little thicker, like a Sierra Nevada or like an old school West Coast IPA, but it's not as sweet as some of those like more malty beers can be.
Yeah,
it's more of that bitter hop piney note than the malt forwardness.
Yeah, it's like a fruity, piney, not so much like it's not super citrusy, which I do like, but there is like little hints of that.
Little tropical,
Yeah.
going on. Yeah, it's
Like
the
passion fruit or,
yeah, guava, a little maybe pineapple, stuff like that, hanging out. Yeah, it's meant to be super balanced.
I was shocked by the dryness that you get. Like, right, take a sip on the back end. It's like such a dry finish that normally I'm just usually like, but I feel like the beer is juicy enough. Like there's enough, fruit forward flavor, like just so much going on that dryness just kind of balances out, so it doesn't become overly sweet when you drink it. So.
Yeah, I think like you said, we don't always say balance, but there's that word again, fucking balance. And guess what? Sometimes it does work, and I think it works very well here.
And sometimes you want your beers to be balanced.
Yeah, of course. I mean, between the bitterness, sweetness, hoppiness, from the hops, like the fruitiness, the pininess, all the ness you can get in there. It's all just it's very nice. I like this. Do you know what the ABV is on this?
I do.
So,
And
there you go. Throwing that curve. I think you put
6.5%.
Yeah, 6.5.
Oh, I think you put it in the email to me. Sorry about that.
It's all good. It's all good. That's why I have notes on here, so I can look at them.
I originally was going to use notes when we started doing the show, and then I stopped, Joe, because I said I'm just going to go with it and edit out what I don't like.
Interesting. Galaxy hops.
Galaxy. Ooh, Clark would have loved this one. Clark is a Galaxy hop fan.
Well, I'm untapped, so who knows how official that is.
Okay. Well, it might be. I mean, we'll find out. We can talk to Zach.
Yeah.
Not that Zach.
2Ks.
Yeah, 2K.
So
2K Zach.
the official
Zach 2K.
description.
That's a good. I'm gonna call him that now.
2K Zach. So the official description on the website is boasting notes of peach, passion fruit, and citrus peel. Our flagship IPA warrants your attention, finishing with a dry bitterness and tropical fruit.
By the way, we're all auditioning to do a voiceover commercial, so that was his pitch to maybe become,
That was pretty good.
Welcome to DryHop Chicago.
Planners. We've got the nuts. Nope, it's not a Planners episode. We're not going back to that. We did.
He didn't sponsor
I'll talk
us.
to you about
They
that.
didn't sponsor us. I even
Off mic.
tagged him in the post. They didn't even like that.
Mr. Peanut did not fucking care that we talked about Planners so much. Oh, it was so good. Yeah, this is great, man. So this is. I'm sorry, real quick back. So this was we're doing flagship first.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, cool. Well, let's take a quick break. We'll come back around and we'll visit the brewer's choice. Was it Zach? Was Zach the one who chose it?
Yeah. This is Zach's.
All right, good job, Double K.
Zach 2K with his beer. Joe, what are we drinking next?
Next up, we have Zach's pick. So we have excessively celebrating. It's a triple. This guy's, hence my butchering of the word. It's a 9.3% ABV. So this is the heaviest hitter of the day that we're going to be drinking. And it's 20 IBU, so it's pretty mellow as far as the bitterness, and it's actually like pretty sweet and kind of what you would expect out of a Tripel.
We're pretty big fans of well, I would say Brandon, you're the more actually Dan, I don't know about you, but I know that you're out of me, you and Clark, you're the biggest Belgian beer fan.
Yeah, I would say so.
I enjoy Belgian beers. I've made one of the first episodes we did was about triples with Stephanie. Brandon has brewed multiple. 2-3 times now?
Two times.
And it's very good. So we're very familiar with triples and how we've come to want them to taste a certain way. Dan, what's your experience with Belgian beers?
So I like Belgian beers a lot. I tend to lean more towards like the Belgian Saisons, but I like triples. It's something I can't do a lot of because they're so strong and they're a little sweet, which is just my personal preference.
Sure. Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, like when I get one of these guys, we have fairly generous pours here today.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So yeah, bartenders are generous here in this joint. But you know what? When I order them, personally, like I generally get like tasters and things like that. But there's people who absolutely love them; they're their favorite beers, and you know they'll take them down, no problem.
I get it. I feel like my wife would enjoy Belgian beers. She like when she does drink beer, it is mainly sours. Actually, it's just sours and ciders, so she doesn't really drink beer that much at all anymore. Although I will say, we went to a concert last week and she did enjoy a Stella Artois out of a nice big can. Thank you, Chicago Theater.
Nice.
Little plug.
We should do an episode, Sours and Ciders, and have our wives on.
I said we should do a Mother's Day with them. Just saying.
And pie.
And pie.
Done.
Ah, Joe, welcome to the show.
They'll show up.
You're the next host. We're now a 5-man crew. This is great.
Oh man, it's crowded. It gets hot in the summer.
Mm-hmm. But we love drinking beers in the summer. Most of our reviews end with, "This would be a great beer to drink in the summer." Like this Belgian Tripel.
We've decided that pretty much every beer we have, I could drink it in the summer.
Yeah.
I could. Brandon, you being the one, summer of the stout, man, that was me all last summer during the pandemic, I'm just going to drink stouts all the time. It was rough, but delicious. Brandon, what do you, how do you feel about this triple here?
I enjoy it. It's funny because when I poured it, I didn't remember that this one was the triple, and I was especially taken back because of the color. Mm-hmm. But when I went in and I was like going for the aroma, I was like, okay, this one, all right, I'm getting it. I realized right away because it's almost the the aroma is very similar to the one I brewed. And I like this, man. Like, it's got everything that I like about it. The one thing, like, if I'm comparing it to, like, my favorite triple, which is, Pedestrian 2.0, it's
that's his beer, by the way.
It's missing. There's like a stickiness of I don't know how
on
to
yours
describe
or this
it.
one
on mine. Yeah, that I'm kind of missing.
You know what I think it is, and the reason why the colors are different too is that I think you use a darker Belgian candy sugar.
Oh yeah, probably.
Because yours it's a little darker than this, but I think that's yours almost looks like a double, not as dark as a quad.
Yeah, but
it is darker than this. It looks like a burnt sugar.
Yeah,
like if you were to take this and burn it with poker, take this beer, burn it with a poker, and if it would change colors, which it won't, will it? Let's try it. I'm joking. This I think you're right. I think that is the difference. I used to really like Belgian beers a lot, so much to the point where I thought like when I had a Belgian IPA, I'm like, oh my god, what an insane, amazing, awesome idea. And then I remember a year later I had a Belgian IPA. I was like, I do not like this anymore. And then I realized there was something about like Belgian beers that I don't know. I feel like everything's in stages with me. As I was talking to you guys before we got started, I was going back on lagers. About I go back and forth. I go in between like liking lagers, not liking lagers, to finally realizing I just like darker lagers. So I think it's the same thing with Belgian beers for me. I have to want a taste for it. There's certain beers I can drink all the time. Belgian beers aren't necessarily it. But For triples, this is solid. Yeah, you say guys say it's 9.3%.
It's 9.3.
I'm gonna have a couple more sips only.
There's not a ton of hint of that in the flavor at all.
Yeah.
It's pretty clean. A lot of fruit.
Yeah,
Banana runt is what I get. A little bit.
dude. Right on the nose, it's like straight up banana.
Yeah, and that's so the pedestrian that we called it pedestrian, and the reason we called it pedestrian. What was the beer that you were drinking?
La Fin du Monde.
Yeah, so Tony was at a party with a friend, and they were drinking La Fin du Monde, and somebody just commented that beer is so pedestrian.
Because it was only 9%. He's like, sorry, I've been drinking a lot of barrel-aged beers recently. And I'm like, you're the reason why people fucking hate people who drink craft beer.
So we decided to name our beer Pedestrian. Tony and I brewed it. Was it pandemic time? No,
that was before. That was way before.
Yeah.
Way
so
before.
this was like 2019, I think we brewed it. Or 2018, 19, something like that. We brewed it, and then
It was okay.
the pandemic hit, and then I was getting a hankering for wanting to brew it again. So Tony sent me the recipe, and then I tweaked some stuff. I changed the yeast that we used, and I think we did put coriander in it, but I think I toasted the coriander, and it. And I think, and I don't think I'm speaking out of turn for Tony. It nailed everything that we kind of wanted in the original.
It was better than mine.
It
still is better than the one.
And I brewed it again this year. Ironically, I brewed it in January last year, and then this year, almost to the day, the same exact time. So I kind of kept the time frame the same. And I do. Is that the one that I? No, I'm thinking of the Oktoberfest that I warm lager.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it turned out fantastic. But this, you put this in front of me, just looking at it, it looks like a lager almost. I'm like, okay,
Yeah, it's the great
normal beer.
It's
But man, it's packed full of everything that I want in a Belgian triple. Which, this is awesome, man.
I feel like it is. So I looked up a picture because I was the triple I've had the most of is the triple Carmelite, and it's like the same color as that.
This is
yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's great. I think it's a good version. I said earlier I'm not big into sweet beers. I feel like the yeast is like the star of this beer, and then you get that.
It comes through
candy.
big time.
Yeah, you get the candy sugar.
I'd be
after
curious
the
what yeast
so.
you guys use.
I think I can answer that because I have better notes about the newer beers.
Zach on the phone.
Well,
Zach 2K with the yeast. Go live. We don't do that.
so apparently it is a yeast strain called BE 134. If you're familiar,
Oh yeah, good old 134.
you know,
No.
yum.
Are you looking it up, Tony?
I am. I think it is a Saf Ale. Haha, I knew it. Yeah, Saccharomyces cerevisiae variant. I'm gonna ruin that. Yeah, it's a highly characterized, particularly high attenuation. This typical yeast strain is recommended for Belgian Saison style beers. That's for you, Dan. Gives off fruity aromas with a slight spicy character, such as clove notes.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a Saf Ale. We man. No, I did it. No, never mind. Sorry. I one time did a pale ale where I thought I was going to be cool and clever and try a Belgian yeast, and I used one, and it did not turn out well at all. And I fermented at high temperatures. It should have worked out. Enough about that. This is
When you guys talking, one of my favorite things ever to read and look at is brewers' notes and notebooks.
Mm-hmm.
It's like super crazy, but if you can decipher it, it's fascinating to read. And like talking about like how long you roast things and things like that, and like don't do this ever again kind of notes. It's like the best. I love looking over that stuff.
Unfortunately, my Beersmith app, when my other phone died, I didn't get to carry over a lot of the recipes. I have so many in the cloud. But I had specific recipes where I wrote shit like that.
Do you pay for Beersmith or no?
I do.
Is there a limit if you pay?
Yeah, it's different now. We'll talk about that. It's not. Whatever. I'm gonna edit that. I'm definitely gonna edit that part out because it sucks now. To be honest, like you have to there's like a yearly subscription if you want to have like unlimited cloud stuff, or it's like.
I mean, I pay. I just don't know what.
No, they changed it, and I don't like the way they did it. It used to be really awesome, but I just didn't utilize it correctly. Anyways, I used to have notes of things like that, were like, do not use this yeast ever again for this, or this. Turned out this was great in the beginning, or it sucked at the end, or brew day was shit and the beer turned out awesome. See if you can replicate how shitty you did.
All of my notes are between like you and I. If I text him something, and it'll be like a year later, I'm like, shit, what did I do last year? And I like search my text messages, and I go back, and I'm like, oh, that's what I did. Okay.
My notes say things like "weird but good. Figure this out again." Those are my.
So you screwed up, but how did you screw up?
Quick
'Cause
question.
It turned out good.
We talked before or during the break. You said you used to homebrew. Do you still homebrew, or do you still are brewing at all?
Yeah,
or?
only a couple times, to be honest. So I'm not like an all-star. And actually, I think now that I work with professional, really good brewers, I tend to not do it as much because,
Sure.
I work with this like A team of people who like,
Hey guys,
And,
you do the work.
I can't show up to work and be like, I homebrewed this weekend. They're like, I don't give a shit.
Check it out, guys. I made this porter. It's really good. It's super dry. Tony liked it.
Pretty mediocre. You guys want to taste it? Made you a 4-pack.
Everybody gets one.
So no, I didn't. I don't do it as much. I do plan on doing it again once it's a little warmer. I do it in my garage, so weather has not been very helpful to that recently. But this summer I'll brew at least a batch or two. I have kids, so it's like fun to have them out there and like stir the pot and do fun stuff.
Not a knock at your homebrewing, but you can tell when somebody doesn't do it a lot when they're like, I wait till the weather's warmer.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, we've done it when it's real cold.
Oh no, it's like a nice day.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm like
it's a nice day. I'm gonna brew.
Yeah.
It's like it's a nice day. I'm gonna grill.
Yeah. No, I look at my phone and I'm like, this is kind of shitty today. I'll do it on Sunday instead.
It's all right. I have a beer that I brewed in January that's still sitting in the fermenter. I have not kegged it. So.
Which one is it?
Oh, that's my my Goza, my lime.
Oh yeah, I was wondering. I forgot about that.
Yeah, no, it's still sitting in the fermenter. I opened it once and I haven't opened it since, and I don't know. I feel like I should
do something.
If I open it again, I have to keg it.
Yeah, lime Seesaw Gosa, you piqued my interest.
It's
majorly. Yeah,
it was.
It's very. You got the idea from Beer for Tacos, right?
Yeah. Off Colors Beer for Tacos.
And it's very similar in like so many ways, but it was a tasty beer when you did it last year. So I
might just, to be honest, I might just see how it is. And
just wait until Cinco de Mayo. Is that what you're waiting for?
There we go. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm waiting for. One more month. It's only been there since January. Let's do it. Christ. Oh man,
it's gonna be super clear.
Yeah, well, I hope so. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you don't have to wait for it to clear up. You're good. Yeah.
I'm hoping that pellicle has not formed on top and it's completely infected. So we'll see.
Well, I'm
gonna check it. I think Sunday. It's Friday when we're recording this. I'm gonna check it on Sunday, see how it is. I'll send you guys all a text message, let you know. And if it's good to go, Joe, we'll find a way to meet up and get you some of that. We'll fill up a growler for you.
I cruise through her all the time, so much appreciated.
Man. Cool. Well, guys, we're gonna take a I don't know how many beers are there. There's 6 total, right? We're just gonna take another quick break.
We have 4 more.
Shit. In the best way possible. That's a shit. We'll be right back.
In the land of Cawdor, in the fires of Mount Hops, the Dark Lord Brewer forged in secret a master IPA to control all others. And into this hoppy concoction, they poured their Citra, their Mosaic, and their Amarillo hops to dominate all beer. No amount of sorcery could control the grapefruit aroma, the bouquet of sweet floral notes, and the dank bitterness from this magical IPA. And so the beer wizards battled for control, 3 hops to rule them all.
Damn, that was really good. Way to come back from the break, man. Joe, I feel like he just stole your thunder on this.
I'm so happy. Yeah. Like that's that was fantastic. I got little tingles on the back of my head.
It's a special moment for all of us.
It is. That
was. Man.
I want to play Hero Quest right now.
Let's do it. Man.
Yeah. So we have Wizard Fight. So this one is from Corridor Brewery and Provisions. It was made by Frank, our brewer out there.
Is that Frank with 2 Ks?
No, just one.
Ooh, single K Frank.
And it's Frank, not Frank?
Yeah, no.
There we go.
It's a K, not a C. And you cannot buy things with him.
Wrong.
So this is Wizard Fight. This is our everyday beer down at Corridor. This is an awesome beer. I've had many pints of this while working for the company. It's one of my favorites to bring along to just show off like what Corridor does and what they're good at.
I would say so. This is awesome.
Even having this one compared to the previous 2 that we've had, like there's a distinct style difference.
Yeah,
obviously, but the usage of the hops in here and
3 of my favorite hops.
Yeah, I was gonna say like those are ones that we kind of rave about.
Well, we were talking the Hawaii show when you brought the beers from Hawaii. Remember, I had one of the last beers, the Citra, Amarillo.
Did you guys record that already?
We did.
We did.
Son of a...
Don't worry, Dan. It's okay. It's okay. Those three hops were the ones that stood out in that session hazy.
Oh yeah,
those are three that are in there. So those really are like three of my favorite hops. So when we had that very passionate intro to this segment here, I got really excited. This is I think I get where you're going. Where it's like it's really you can tell already there's a difference between the two breweries. It's not because they're all part of the same family. It is like there's different beers right off the bat.
Right. Yeah. All of our brewers, do their own thing. There's a lot of autonomy. They have their own styles. They, write all their own recipes. This one is a old school recipe. So this was actually done by Brant Dubovic, who's our director of brewing operations, I believe is his title. He's the first employee hired by DryHop Group.
Awesome.
His beers are awesome. He actually did, spoiler alert, Neon Werewolf that we're going to talk about in 2 more beers. Sorry. But he also has a knack for naming these things and just like knocking it out of the park.
And you just told us where the name came from, which is...
Yeah. So it's a song that's new to me. It's by a band called Weed Eater, and the song is called Wizard Fight. And I put it on and listened to it, I think, like 5 times, like back to back. And it sounds like it was recorded in like a farm tub, but it's
sick.
It's awesome. It slaps. And you can get it on. I listen to it on Spotify, so it's out there somehow.
I'm gonna listen to it on the way home. I'll probably have to ask.
I want to email those guys and be like, "Can we put this in our episode?"
Yeah, that'd be cool. I like it. Whatever. This really hits like a newer West Coast IPA to me.
Yeah,
like it still has like it reminds me of when I was probably like 5 years into me drinking craft beer when IPAs started evolving from just being like piney and bitter to focusing more on getting a little bit of fruitiness to it before we went full juice mode. This is the type of I feel like this is the type of IPA that I wish I could brew myself and just have on tap all the time. Mm-hmm. Because it is, I can see why, this is the beer that you kind of brag about for, to show off, I should say, for Corridor, because it really is like, kind of hits everything that I think people who are into craft beer would really enjoy, especially a solid IPA.
Right. Yeah, when you want to define craft beer or you have anybody who's not a big beer drinker and you want to sort of define it for them and give them, some training wheels, just give them this. Just have them taste this and say, this is craft beer.
Just give them
this. And if you like it, then you could start to branch off and go into the different styles and try a lot of different stuff. But like this is it, and it's
fantastic.
And I mean that in the most positive way possible.
Yeah, no, totally. I agree. Dan, you're in the back over there on your phone, not paying attention to what's going on in the show. What do you think of this beer? Just joking, buddy. Love you.
No, so I really like this beer.
I did just happen to see you on your phone. It's okay. This isn't like work where I have to be mad at people as a manager. But you're on fucking notice.
Leave work at home.
You're on fucking leave work at home.
Okay. Leave work at work.
Congratulations, Dan. You've made another intro.
No more triples.
Yeah. Fuck.
So this beer is just for the listeners, it's another like clear beer, pale colored, and it is very compared to the first one, the wheat IPA. That one had the thicker body. This one is much more drinkable. Yeah. It almost drinks like it's like a pale ale, and I don't mean that in a negative way.
No, I agree with you 100%.
I mean, you're going into that category
very fruity.
Like, what is it? Zombie Dust is a pale ale, whatever.
Yeah,
but
fuck that. That is not a pale ale.
Yeah.
Sorry, Three Fillets. I love you, but that is fucking IPA.
That one though, the hops really, it was the bitterness and the hops that it had the tropical fruit characteristics, but the bitterness is what really stood out. This one, the Citra, and I think you said Mosaic. I'm kind of blinking right now.
And Amarillo.
Yeah, those. Amarillo, is that the cat pea hop? I forget. But anyways, the Citra
kind of, because it's more grapefruit. It's more grapefruit. I don't think cat pea as much. I one time, by the way, side note, I one time tried to explain a Noon Whistle beer to a friend when they still had like the peel off full like
Oh,
top.
God, yeah.
I was like, and I brought it over. It was Alex the baker, and I was like, "Here, dude, you want to try this?" He's like, "Yeah." I go, "Careful, it smells like Cappy." He's like, "Why the fuck would you say that?" I'm like, "Cause it kind of does. Like there is just like that kind of aroma, and not like in like." And it's hard to explain, but I'm knowing that anybody listening who understands what I'm saying, like there is like certain hops kind of give off a Cappy aroma in the litter box. Okay, so.
Do you know what's a more friendly way to describe that?
What's
and
that?
I only know that because I used to work in wine. So cat pee is also a descriptor in wine as well. You could say boxwood.
Boxwood.
Boxwood. They smell like cat piss, but
But it sounds way
boxwood
more
is
appealing.
so much nicer.
But the boxwood bush.
The bush.
Okay.
Yeah.
The boxwood.
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 Yeah. This I just want to
on the
say.
floor and we're like, why the fuck does it smell like boxwood down here?
Well, now
Smells like bushes.
well, yeah. Well, if my wife's ever like, oh, it smells like cat box, I'm like, no, it smells like boxwood. So, yeah,
Sorry.
Don't blame the cats.
Next time you're by a boxwood, stick your head in there, take a big whiff. Cat pee.
Oh.
This smells like this beer. Fantastic.
So I'll go over to the neighbor's house that has a farm of boxwood.
By the way, this beer does not smell like cat piss.
Not at all. Yeah, that just
Not
happened.
at all.
And kind of going off what Dan was saying, one of the
Before we got on a rant about cat piss.
he was comparing the two styles with the wheat IPA and this what is described or listed as an American IPA. I'm getting all of that tropical, that fruitiness, that juiciness that I enjoyed from the wheat IPA. I'm not, and in a pleasant way, I'm not getting that dryness. That dryness isn't there, and my fear is always that it, after you keep drinking it for a while, it's going to get overly sweet, and it's not. It's bordering on the too sweet, but it's like at that perfect threshold where I can easily just sit here and drink it. And
To agree
enjoy it.
with you, the ending isn't a sweet ending. It's more of like the pith of like a citrus.
You said pith, right?
Yeah.
Pith?
Yes.
Pith.
Sorry.
We're off.
I
the
thought we
cat-
were back
we're
on
off the cat piss.
I thought we were back on piss. Sorry. The finish is like piss. You know what I mean? I don't know what you mean.
The color is
So this is I'm also looking at this now. It's 60 IBUs, and it says the creamy mouthfeel is enhanced with flaked oats. So it's funny that we didn't mention, like, we were talking about the mouthfeel for the wheat IPA from DryHop, and now coming over here to Corridor, they say it's finished with flaked oats, and flaked oats normally add more body. But I don't think it necessarily are sweetness. I think is you can get from wheat. I could be wrong about that. I'm going off of my dumb 10 year of home brewing, half-assed, not really knowing what I'm talking about, but kind of knowing what I'm talking about.
Tony, you'll appreciate this.
I appreciate a lot of things.
I
you tell me.
don't know. I mean, I have to assume it came from the brewery, and maybe the hop bill changed at one time. Homebrewers Association has Corridor Brewery Wizard Flight American IPA on the recipe list.
That's fantastic.
But so this says Warrior hops, Chinook, Citra, El Dorado.
What?
Yeah, those are all the ones.
Okay.
Yeah, the
we'll
Warrior-
have to
Warrior
talk.
and Chinook would make it more bitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a guy I could check.
It's probably
with that
evolved. I mean,
There's one person who can confirm that. It's our guest.
Well, so I would be curious because for all purposes, this could have been correct at one time, and
Right.
They
Sure.
adjusted it.
I think it's not a secret that beer recipes evolve over time.
Of course.
Yeah.
And so there's
Taste
change.
change. Yeah,
and
exactly.
the brewers want to make adjustments to taste, and sometimes to their own taste, sometimes.
Well, and that hop
style?
that hop profile right there, it is a bit more bitter, but it sounds really good. I bet you. I mean, a Warrior right in there, right? Was it Warrior in the beginning? You said.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just boom. That's just straight bittering. And
Yeah.
I'm sure that's like right at the beginning.
16% alpha acid.
I'll punch you in the mouth.
Yeah. So, and it's 2-row Bonelander Munich malt, Carapils, and then just a measly 4 ounces of flake dope.
All right. So yeah. So I'm sure like you're saying, over time it's been adjusted and changed everything. But it'd be nice to try that
Because this
Maybe
one
brew
is,
that up.
says 6.5% too. So, and the IBUs are a little bit higher. Oh no, IBUs actually are lower compared. This says 60.
We're at 65 currently.
Yeah, the website says 65.
All right. Wow.
I'd be curious. So if this is like a correct recipe from
Before?
years gone past,
The day. back
I'd
in
be curious to try and brew it and
Yeah.
see.
Try side by side.
Yeah.
We'll have to go back to Corridor. Joe, we'll meet you there. We'll fill up another one.
Yeah.
What's the place that is a pizza?
All of them.
Oh, shit.
Wait, does Crushed by Giants have pizza now
Sure
too?
do, man. Yeah.
Hey, I have to say though that the star of Corridor is the cauliflower wings.
Cauliflower and curds.
Curds?
Yeah, man.
Oh, you used to have without wings back
So no, it's buffalo sauce on them. But
Okay,
it's
maybe I
it's cheese curds, cauliflower. They're breaded and fried and tossed in buffalo.
That's right.
So
that's right,
the
that's right.
next time we get together, we'll just do a show of each place. Like we did Crushed by Giants. We'll go.
Yeah.
Corridor's got the cauliflower curds.
Yeah, we have them at Crush too.
We already did Crushed. We'll go to Corridor with you. We're going to meet up again at Corridor because we can try their other beers. With that being said, we got to move on to something else. But first, we got to take the real break. So many breaks in this fucking show. Apparently, I opened up a YouTube video for the game, so I'll have to watch that. It is the Weather Underground. I remember that from my days of. Yep, we're gonna talk about that another time.
Too much. What was it called?
We're getting deep.
Infowars.
No, not that. This is totally different.
Infowars.com.
Oh, not a sponsor of this podcast.
And we're back!
That was good. Good way to segue with InfoWars. Jesus. We are back. That was a real break. That was a nice break. I felt it was shorter maybe than some of the other breaks we took in between beers. But we're back with Joe. Joe, thanks for still being here with us and supplying all these beers.
Yeah.
Thanks for not leaving halfway through and being like, you know what? I don't want to deal with these guys. This reunion is not worth the time.
We're literally halfway through right now. So if
Yeah.
I left right now, you'd be really full of shit.
I'd be like, is it okay if we just keep the beers?
Of course.
Like, sure, and I'll send you the bill. I'm really excited about this one. I don't even remember if I already talked about it on Myke, but I am super excited because I have come to the realization that I do like lagers, everybody, but they have to be dark lagers, like a Vienna lager or some type of dark Bock, something of that sort. And Joe, what are we drinking?
We have Henchbock. So this is our next brewer's choice. So this is a new beer. We've it just actually went on, I believe, this week. So
We're getting exclusives on this, man.
brand spanking new beer. It's a dope beer. It's like super duper tasty. It doesn't. Some of these sometimes have a little bit of smokiness to them. This guy does not. It's nice and clean.
Yeah, it was
A little sweet, which it should be. It's a German. It's very like European tasting. Just a total killer beer. Real easy to drink. And it's a little bit up there with the booze. It's 6.8% ABV. It's a big guy, but IBU is low. It's about 22.
nice.
And yeah, it's just a killer beer. And actually, if you hit up our Instagram account, Frank and I made a completely ridiculous video about this beer. So check it out.
We will put that link. Can you Oh, ESPN, Brandon, what do they got to say?
Oh man, I thought my thing was on.
I need to know what the breaking news is from ESPN, though. Is it about the Masters? Is the Masters still going on?
Yeah.
It is.
Cubs.
The Bulls lost.
Shocker. Oh, sorry.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, when you listen to this, whenever this is released, the Bulls lost tonight. Let's hope it's not the same time. I totally forgot where I was going.
Likely.
We'll link. Can you do Instagram links, right? You're an Instagram.
Yeah, you can link right to a piece of content.
You guys show me how to do that. Brandon, you know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. Somebody show me how to do it when I post this episode. I love this beer.
Yeah, if you like sweeter, maltier beers,
this
bang on.
That's kind of what I think I'm enjoying about Box and dark lagers is that they're that malty sweetness. Ooh, Dan, your hat went backwards. You seem like you're real relaxed.
He's taking it seriously. Right now.
Partying now.
Shit, man. Well, now we have the second half of the episode. We went into a Bock and Dan's like, hat's backwards. Player. He didn't say player. Words in his mouth. I think it's what I like about it. I was talking about this with one of the managers at my day job. That what I like about beers like this is the sweetness. And like when I have a beer like this, it's like kind of sweet up front. And I don't mean like cloyingly sweet. It's just a nice like malty sweetness. And then it dissipates and there's a bitterness in the back and the side of my tongue. And then it's almost like a refreshing end to it. So I don't know. I don't get that from. It's a specific flavor profile that my tongue seems to really enjoy. And that's kind of what I'm liking about it.
I'm on board with you.
Yeah.
And I've been spending this episode shitting on sweet beers. But I love like this sweet in a sweet beer.
Yeah, this is a
different kind of sweet.
Yeah.
When I shit on sweet beers, I'm talking about like pastry stouts or IPAs when they're sweet.
Sorry, didn't you bring a pastry stout for later?
I did. But
Per our request,
beer,
I know.
No, I skipped it. I'm bringing it's a Saison.
the sweetness in this is up front, and like you said, it drops off, and I get like a roasty sort of like nuttiness that you get off of like a brown ale or something.
I was gonna say just like a brown ale. I think maybe that's why I'm leaning more towards this style of lager, because I do love brown ales. I think brown ales, as I've said before, brown ales and amber ales, those are underrated styles that I really do enjoy drinking.
I love these when they come out in the fall, but
Yeah.
I could drink this year round for sure.
Would you be able to drink it in the summer?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everything's either a summer beer or a fireside beer.
Welcome to the Malting Hour. We either drink it in the summer or next to a fire.
There's only 2 seasons in beer.
Fire
For us.
and summer.
Yeah, see? It's the best.
This could go for both.
Brandon, how you feeling about this one, man?
I enjoy it very much. I was just going and I was reading the description on the website, and it kind of the flavor profiles are kind of nailed pretty accurately here. So I can go ahead and read.
I would love to take you to take us back to Middle Earth.
Oh, yes. Can you do it one more time? There we go.
Behold, the fabled Henchbock, a brew so mythical it only leaves its fermenter habitat once a year to offer us its gift of delectable lager drinkability for springtime enlightenment. There's no springtime in beer. It's fire. So peel back the murk from thy dreary palate and bask in its aromas of toasted bread, caramel, and sweet raisin created by German malts that interweave with notes of Concord grape and mandarin orange effervescence that are culled from noble hops. Where is that glass of Bock? We all want Bock lager while we sit around.
The way you ended that sentence was...
To be fair, there's an ellipsis at the end.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Sit around.
Yeah,
Nice. I do have a question. We don't know what the grain bill for this is, correct?
correct.
I wonder if they use Special B. The reason why I say that is because of Special B can be used for. I know if it's used too much, you get a raisiny flavor in there, but it's also just kind of you can get a nice like nutty caramely in there. So I got a feeling there's some Special B in this maybe. Can we? Who's is this? Frank again?
Frank.
Frank. I need to know if there's Special B, baby.
Frank 1K.
Frank is, as far as I'm concerned, with the 2 beers from Corridor, Frank is the man.
Hey man, what about Zach 2K?
No, Zach 2K is good too.
Okay, let's not shit on different brewers just yet. We will shit on brewers at the end of the episode, so Joe has to go and face them. Okay?
Deal.
Good. Joe, welcome back. Ooh, there we go. The buzz is gone. Yeah, man. I guess that makes sense. Like to why I like this type of style is because I love brown ales and I love amber ales, and I think that just this type of beer. I love summer. I mean, I like spring. I like. Why does it always fucking go back to weather with me? I love spring. I love summer. But fall and winter is kind of my jam. So like a beer like this like it's good to have now in spring, but this would also be something really cool to have in fall as it's like starting to get a little cooler, and you want to have something that's still refreshing where you're still like maybe hanging out outside, but it's getting colder, so you want something that's a little toastier on the palate. You know?
Yeah, I think you do box. I said doo-doo, but
I was about to say, you said doo-doo box? That's, you know what?
Please name a beer that.
I was just going to say that because I was saying that I think the next beer I want to do is a Bock. I've said IPA 100 times. Now I'm going to do a Bock. I'm going to call it the doo-doo Bock. Joe, let's get together and brew a doo-doo Bock.
I'm into it.
Fucking A. And that'll be something you can be proud to bring into the brewery. Be like, guys, I present to you doo-doo Bock. Brewed with the losers over at the malting hour.
You're going to hate it.
It's going to suck, but we love it.
Tastes like shit.
Doo-doo Bock. Tastes like shit. Sorry,
I was gonna say, I think the Bock is to spring what like Marzen is to fall. Like it's sort of a similar profile to me, and I'm not smart enough to know the difference between the two. But
one is made for the fall, the other is made for the spring.
But there is no fall in beer, only fire in winter.
True. Here. All right, we're getting off the rails here. I think we're going to have to move on to the next beer. Unless you got anything else you want to say about this one, Joe?
No, it's a wonderful beer. I oftentimes whenever the brewers give me the beers for the first time, I get a little taste and I get to kind of weigh in, and I always try to give them like my completely honest opinion that's just like off the cuff. And I think that I said, ooh, yummy, as soon as I drank this, because I turn into a 7-year-old as soon as I drink any of the beer.
Yummy.
Yeah, so
just like 7-year-olds who drink beer, that's what they say.
Yeah.
This is the best beer I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, so Frank, high five on this one. It's delicious.
I got one thing to say before we move on from Corridor. Do you guys still do the vinyl?
Yes, so we play vinyl actually at all of our
A lot of
spots.
times,
We do,
yeah.
but Corridor plays vinyl almost all the time. They have quite a collection, and they play some stuff that I like have to constantly pull up my phone to listen to what it is, because they play this just cool stuff that I like. I think time has kind of lost track of, and it's just really, really dope music.
And I think you guys used to do like a day or a night of the week where people could bring in albums, and maybe that was pre-COVID for sure. I haven't been keeping up as much. But...
Yeah, I know. I mean, yeah, we'll do whatever. So sure, we'll do vinyl. Sure.
Dan
wants to do an episode.
I was going to say, Dan, I think you got to do a whole side thing where, Hip Hops goes to
DJing at different breweries.
That is cool. But maybe you just go to Corridor Hip Hops and you pair some beers with their vinyl. I mean, it's a good different type of episode, man.
Yeah.
Or bring your own vinyl.
Don't. I'm just gonna say, do it. Like, don't even tell them you know me. Just show up with a milk crate of records and just do it. Just start throwing them on.
They'll probably know who you are. You're like Danny Hip Hops, aka also the guy from the malting hour.
Just make sure you wear your malting
Actually, you know what?
shirt.
Don't say the malting hour, because they'll probably be like, oh,
Get the hell out of here.
yeah, fuck those guys. All right, let's go to the next beer.
Screams break the silence. We're here to break the light. The aroma of pineapple and citrus overload the senses, leading to a soft mouthfeel. Passion fruit, lemon zest, candied orange, and pineapple erupt in the finish. Bock at the moon!
You gotta insert fucking Ozzy right there.
Well,
Bock at the moon.
in the beginning, it sounded like we were gonna go with Thriller.
It sounded like Jack Black to me.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So
I didn't know where I was going. And then I saw Bark at the Moon and I was like, fucking Ozzy?
Sick. Joe, what are we drinking? Because we've moved on to a new brewery.
All right.
Well, a new brewery for the episode, but not a new brewery to the show.
Yeah. So this is the only, I think, returning brewery, right? Even though it's our newest one.
Clint's
Yes.
been on a couple times.
Lake Effect doesn't count. It's not part of this whole family. But yes, this is the first time that, the second time that Crushed by Giants has been on there.
Awesome.
From the whole family.
So if you haven't noticed, we've gone in order of when the breweries opened. So we went from oldest to newest. So
Spoiler alert,
I
losers.
did not notice. Thank you.
You weren't paying attention when Joe explained it.
So
Although I knew that Crushed by Giants and then Corridor, that was so I guess
That makes sense. Okay, sorry. Anyways, Joe, what are we doing here?
So we're we're talking about Crushed by Giants. This is our newest brewery. It's been open for about 2 years. It's in Streeterville, Streeterville, River North, right on the border there. We are at Russian, Ohio. Our address actually is a Michigan Avenue address, but that's confusing. Don't bother with that because otherwise you'll end up at the Under Armour store. You don't want to go there. Well, maybe you do. Maybe you want to
get Under Armour.
Maybe you want to get fancy underwear and then get beer. That's fine.
Hey man, my socks are Under Armour. And they're really comfortable.
They're good. They make a good product. They're our neighbors. We love them.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
You still have the AMC over there?
Yeah. Well, so we share the entrance with the AMC. So if you're going to come see the Batman or the Sonic the Hedgehog 2, come on in and get a beer ahead of time.
Both of those. Go see it.
Yeah.
Get really tanked and then go fall asleep in the theater.
Oh, fuck. I mean, that would be rough to go watch the Batman after drinking some
Got to go
beers.
fast. Yeah,
Yeah,
that.
but Sonic the Hedgehog 2, that sounds fun.
That does sound fun.
I did enjoy the Batman. Okay, sorry. I'm done.
Yeah, so we've been there for about 2 years now, and Neon Werewolf is our flagship beer. And so it's a double dry hop IPA. It's 6.8% ABV, so a little on the heavier side. 35 IBU. The name of the beer is kind of a play on the big giant monsters. So if you've been to our space, and if you haven't been to our space, fix that as soon as you can.
Yes, you should. It's a really cool space. It's very nice.
It's super fun. We have monsters all over the place. It's a really, really good vibe. The fermenters are right there in the dining room. You can actually walk up to the wall and smell the beer fermenting, and which is a wonderful smell to take in. It really is most of the time.
It is, unless my wife can't stand any of that smell. But
So if you're there with your wife,
Literally thought he was gonna
unless
say,
you're my wife, you're going to love it.
I for some reason when he said you can walk up, he said smell. I'm like, I was like, is he going to say smell the fermenters? Like, yeah, you can smell the metal of the fermenters.
What a moron.
Or the cleaning solution that we use on the outside to keep them shiny.
That Tripel is starting to set in.
Green Star. Yummy.
PBW, let's get to it. It's sunless.
But yeah, the idea behind the sort of title of the beer and the name of the beer is the giant monsters, right? So our big monster, little secret there, his name is Clyde. Named him Clyde, yeah. So he's on the side of the building there.
Yeah, that's we got pictures on. Go look at our Instagram. We got pictures of Clyde.
We got to get Clyde on an episode.
We got Clyde.
He growls a lot.
I am Clyde.
He's here.
Oh no! Is that your walk-in where it's like you got Zach Brack and you Clyde's the one? Oh fuck!
You got beer.
Shit! It's going off the rails real fast.
5 years in. 5 years in.
One more left.
Thanks for reining it back in, Joe. We appreciate it.
You got it. I'm a professional. JK. So Neon Werewolf is kind of a play on that. So it's a big giant werewolf. If you see our can artwork or some of the fun stuff that we have, it's a big bold beer. I mean, it practically glows in your hand when you look at it, and as a hazy should. It's got a big presence on the bar. And honestly, if you're looking for a hazy beer, this checks every single box.
Absolutely, and we've mentioned this before. We're lucky to be in Chicago. That the New England Hazy IPA was not born here. Goddamn if I wouldn't say that we have kind of taken that to
an extreme.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know a lot of breweries in general make hazy IPAs, and hazy IPAs have kind of become commercial, and there's not a lot of good commercial versions of it. There's interesting variations of it. There are some that I've had out there. I'm like, for a commercial version or widely produced, mass-produced hazy IPA, it's okay. But for double dry hop hazy IPAs, when you get a smaller format, smaller breweries, this is the way to go. And this does hit everything. As you guys can see, I am a fan of hazy IPAs.
I'm noticing, yeah.
Yeah.
You have half as much as I do.
I have half as much as all of you because that's why I had to stop myself from buying hazy IPAs all the time, because it'd be like, oh, cool, I spent, certain 4-packs happen to be close to almost $17. I mean, a lot of hops go into making a hazy IPA. I mean, a lot of hops go into it, so a lot of money is spent making it. Not even the hops, but the grain bill itself of, a lot of it has to do with flaked oats, flaked wheat, base malts, everything. But it's so fucking refreshing to me, and it's the idea of having a juicy IPA to me is really good and really tasty. So it's easy for me to drink, even though this is what's the ABV on this one again?
6.8, I believe. Yeah, 6.8.
Some of them get up there to almost like 9%.
Yeah. And
I'm
there's
like, I can just sip on this like it's orange juice.
Yeah. No, I mean it's like hit in the mouth with a fruit truck.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's a whole bunch of tropical fruit.
That's I'm gonna use that for all the time now. I love that.
But it's also on the back end. So basically, as soon as the fruitiness goes away, you get this really, really awesome rounded bitterness on the tip of your tongue. And really, that's what you're looking at for your hazies.
Yeah.
And so it's just this really well-rounded beer. The mouthfeel is killer.
Absolutely.
It's nice and like kind of velvety. It's just a killer beer. This is one that I so working at breweries, I think everybody knows is not a secret. We take home a lot of beer because if you work in this industry and you don't like beer, I'm shocked. What you doing?
I remember the first time I saw something about Dogfish had like everybody who worked out there, like they would get like cases of beer at the end of each
It's allotments, yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. Like especially like when the pumpkin beers were coming out, like everyone's like, "Oh, cool! Well, I've got my allotment of pumpkin."
I've worked with friends who worked for larger breweries, and they're oftentimes they end up starting giving away cases because they're like, I've run out of room. Like I don't know where to
so
put
much
this.
beer. That's awesome.
I don't have that problem. So if anybody does work for one of those big breweries, I'll take them.
Let us know. We're always hey, here at the Malting Hour, we're always looking for beer.
So we've talked about hazy IPAs quite a lot, but I want to shoot it over to Dan. Dan, I don't know if have you discussed like, do you love, hate? Where are you at with the hazy?
Here it comes. Here comes the Dan recommendation.
Notice that his hat is slowly rotating forward.
It's at a 15-degree tilt.
I, like everybody, when hazy IPAs came out, was chasing them, loved them.
Real quick. When hazy IPAs first came out, I was like, it looks like garbage, and I'll never drink them.
Well, yeah. So I remember going. This is a little sidebar, but I remember going to Ram.
Okay.
When Sean, who is now Phase 3, wasn't more,
Yeah.
but he was at Ram and came out with like the first hazy IPA in the Chicagoland area out by O'Hare.
Oh yeah,
London
Didn't that place
Fog or
close?
something.
Oh, I remember that name.
Yeah.
Something like that. It sounds familiar.
So I went there and had it on draft. But I mean, I was like on the hype train and everything. I haven't been liking them recently, but I do have to say, and I'm not just blowing smoke because
We don't do that. We don't blow smoke up asses here.
There's let me preface it by saying
Thank you.
Unless you're into that.
I hate, and I do mean hate, like lactose in IPAs. Hate it. But this, and there's another thing that I get with some of the hazy IPAs where it's like they overly dry hop it to where you get like a burn in the back of your throat.
There are
I
some
don't
out
get
there.
that on this.
No.
This one is balanced in terms of like flavor. There's not a ton of bitterness, but there's a little bit of bitterness towards the end. And
Back of the tongue.
Yeah, but it doesn't give you that throat burn that I despise.
It
that
is-
some hazy IPAs give you.
It's kind of like, because you said what, there's like 35 IBUs, like it's not even that high, which is normal for hazy IPAs, but it still hits you the bitterness of an IPA, and I feel like it teeters that line that a good double dry hop hazy IPA where you're like, there's a whole bunch of hops in there, so there's a bunch of green matter floating around in there when it's fermenting in the boil in the whirlpool that it's so close. I don't want to say so close where it's like you're gonna get that burn, but that's where that good bitterness is. I feel like coming from in this beer is that it's almost there where some beers go over the line there and the edge, and it's like I can't drink this. It is burning the back of my throat.
Yeah.
From the hot burn is what they call it.
Yeah, the hot burn.
So this is another Brant Dubovic joint. Again, I've told you before he's our first employee rather.
There you go, Brant.
And if you've noticed, he's done all the flagship beers. And so
What the?
so this
How did I miss that? How did you miss that, Dan?
So
You weren't
this,
listening to the descriptions.
So, and he also wrote the description.
true.
So, Bark
It's
at the Moon, you can kind of tell that that's a Brant written piece of marketing. But he's he's making just killer beers, and he's the dude who writes our recipes for the flagships for reasons.
So this is a Brant beer, correct?
So the Brant, this is a Brant beer, Wizard Fight, and then also Shark meets Hipster.
Oh, that brand.
The next beer though will not be Brant, correct?
No, so this next one will be our boy.
We'll say it. Hold on.
not yet.
Hold on. I won't say it just yet. Brandon, you are not totally huge on hazy IPAs. I will say this. The reason why you're not as big on it as Clark and I are IPAs. Like Clark and I will. I feel like the last 2 years we were like, or 2 years ago, at least, especially during the pandemic when it was like lockdown pandemic times. Each week, Clark and I were
before times.
during times,
Oh,
like
yeah.
the real during times, like no one can go anywhere. Clark and I were going back and forth on which hop butcher we happened to get that week. If one didn't get it, the other one got it, and just going back and forth. And it was like the summer of the stout was last year. Year before that was summer of the haze.
These days.
Yeah, exactly. You never really.
He's pointing at me.
You, Brandon. Thank you. The audience can't see. I've never really expressed much interest in hazy beers. You don't dislike them, but you don't really go after them.
I mean, I could care less.
Yeah.
I enjoy them. Well, not all of them, but the majority that I do have, especially this one, I like. It's funny. I think I've had ones that are like East Coast hazy IPAs. I don't like those as much as I do like the local ones.
What we're doing, yeah.
And it
I'm
could be that they're probably
taking credit for it.
fresher.
Part of the community.
I'm probably getting them fresher.
Absolutely. I think that has something to do with it.
And yeah, so I have absolutely no problem with them. But if I'm going to look for beer, I'm looking for the barrel aged stuff.
Yeah.
And
You're the barrel aged boy.
but it's funny too because going to talking about barrel aged stuff, I had this thing. I didn't tell anyone about it, but last year, I
Here's the big reveal.
I don't know. I was going in I was sitting playing Xbox. I'm gonna crack a beer, and I was I'm gonna grab a barrel aged stout. I cracked it, and I pour some into a glass, have a couple sips, and I'm like, I'm not liking this. I just something was off. I didn't have COVID, but something was off, and I was just I'm just not feeling this.
Yeah.
So I literally I was have a little cap, put it on, put it in the fridge, and I'm I'm gonna let that one sit. And I
remember
those beers
that, yeah.
for quite a long time, and I still do it every once in a while, just because I don't want to drink maybe I just want a half of a 12-ounce bottle or a can, whatever.
Oh, you mean a 15%,
Yeah, exactly.
16-ounce can?
But yeah,
it is not a
so
good...
it was just really just the flavor was just something was just it just was not appealing to me. Flash forward to a couple weeks ago, I was sitting here and I was I want to try something I haven't had in a while. I cracked open one of my Rev barley wines, I think from last year, not 2021, 2020. And I was this is awesome. This is great. I'm loving drinking this. 15 minutes later, it was gone. I was okay,
oh, shit.
well,
yeah.
it wasn't 15 minutes.
Yeah,
but
no,
I think within an hour, I drank pretty much the entire
So
thing.
basically you're saying just in general how taste kind of changes over.
And it kind of goes with this. Like I said, I never hated them. I just, it's just something that I've
Never sought
never
them out.
really sought out, per se. So, but I thoroughly enjoy this one. I enjoyed it last time we had it, too.
Yeah.
So.
I do think this is a good example of where you can get juicy, but also it highlights a bitterness that's not just here's sweetness, here's juice. You're not drinking a glass of orange juice. I do like some hazy IPAs like that. This is not like it, but
This is what I want in a hazy IPA.
This is a beer. It's still a beer to me.
Yeah, it's
some
a beer.
hazy
I don't
IPAs
want
are
a
not.
mimosa,
Yeah.
a beer mosa.
I do like mimosas.
Well, beer mosas are good, but
Actually, let's go make one. We're gonna take a break and go to that other beer. Let's do it. Oh boy, I'm ready for this. Here we go. Intermission.
Don't let a rainy spring day drizzle on your fun.
That's today.
Grab a pint of rainy day and drink up as you stare out the window slowly watching the flowers bloom. This Petite Saison is very floral, with hints of barnyard funk, not boxwood, fresh cut grass, and bubblegum. Hallertau Blanc hops add a punch of lemongrass and elderflower with a lemony, dry finish. I will note that the punctuation on here and the grammar is just atrocious. Somebody did not hit a space bar, and it threw me off.
Joe wrote that.
So that's my fault. I run the website.
No, there's like two spots. It's
No, you know what it is? It's everywhere the word of is. Is it of? And there's no spaces.
I'm gonna edit
for the next word.
We normally don't do. I normally don't go back to like make.
Don't edit this. No. Don't edit this. Okay. This is awesome. No,
Welcome to the editing hour.
I was saying.
No.
It says fuck up.
Yeah. All right, so any kids out there listening to this beard podcast, people fuck up sometimes. It's okay. You gotta own it, and you gotta fix it, and you gotta move on.
I was ready to like fucking pull the curtain down and be like, no one's gonna see this.
I tried to read ahead, and then I was like, what the hell is a lemongrass? And I was like, oh.
It's a place.
It's a place, dude. You've never been there?
I love lemongrass.
Go to the mystical world go to the mystical land of lemongrass.
Don't fuck up Clark's.
It smells of elderflower with a lemony dry finish.
All right, let's get into this beer.
I do like this.
Yeah, so this is by Jacob Houston. So Jacob joined us relatively recently, within the last 6 months or so, and he's a big fan of making like sours and wilds and just a lot of like super good stuff. He actually, one of his first beers when he got on board with us was this absolutely fantastic plum sour that I loved. It's unfortunately gone because everyone drank it.
Fuckers.
But
Death by Plums from Evolution was a plum beer that I wish I would have tried, but I had no interest at the time, and I heard it was very good.
yeah, ours was Professor Plum, and it was it was just a absolute. It was a great intro. Not only did I enjoy meeting Jacob because he's a wonderful guy, but also the first beer off the bat was just was totally killer.
Sounds good.
And this is right in line with what I was expecting. So I'll admit today is the first time I've had this one. This is a brand spanking new beer.
Hey, another exclusive.
Yeah. So this is a brand new one. So this is my first time trying it, but it is darn good. We're going kind of opposite tasting order here today. We're ending on a 5% beer.
I like that.
30% IBU.
Yeah, you're supposed to end on the high.
Yeah.
We just went full. I kind of like this more because I like to start off high and then work my way down to be like, oh, okay. Like I still want something to drink. Yeah.
In the middle,
Like I still want something to drink, but I just want to kind of like I'd rather sip on something like this and go balls to the wall with the high ABV.
There is like I'm getting a ton. It's super duper floral, crazy floral.
Yeah,
that's the first thing that I noticed.
I love the aroma on this beer more than anything.
Dan, what about you? You're
I feel like you're an expert on this, buddy.
No,
Caught you on your phone again. Oh man, you were getting written up by the end
Gotcha.
of this episode.
You can't fire him. He's our attorney.
Fucking. I don't give a shit what he is.
Can't fire me. I don't work in this car. It's from The Office. That's it.
So I really like it.
Okay, Tony, what about you?
Very good.
No, go ahead.
No, I think that I really like it. I get the I was trying to take another sip real quick just to like see what I kind of get. The lemongrass, and it's power suggestion lemongrass, but when I get the like lemonness up front, the lemonness, I don't know if that's a word or not.
No man, we'll take it.
That's a triple speaking, but the lemonness up front, and then it goes into like the yeast character, and it's got that like. I don't know if I want to say traditional Saison yeast character, but it's definitely, it tastes like a Saison, but with that a little bit of tartness up front, and not tartness like a,
not tart.
Yeah,
I know what you're saying.
Not kettle sour tart,
no,
but just like
not even
that
like
lemongrass, like light essence of it, and then like the esters of the Saison yeast, it sort of rounds it out.
He knows what he's talking about because he said esters.
Yeah. When you say esters, and you're not talking about your great Aunt Esther, you know you're talking beer stuff. Welcome to the malting hour.
I'm sorry, this tastes like what my great Aunt Esther smelled like.
Jesus.
She smelled like elderflower and lemongrass. So fuck you. So what's funny though, when
Aunt Esther tasted great.
Whoa!
Welcome to the malting hour. When I went in, what's interesting about this is it has some of those subtle flavors that I like in like the Belgians.
Yeah,
and
that's where I was
specifically
going with it. Yeah,
the bubble gum was coming through
big time.
So it's very reminiscent of that for me. And then that floralness kind of cuts through that, and it adds this this other like depth. It's obviously a lot lighter. Even mouthfeel, the body on it is just so light, but that the citrus, that light lemon citrusness, and like I could say all day, like, oh, yeah, it's elderflower. I don't know what the fuck elderflower tastes like, but...
How don't you know what elderflower tastes like?
I don't know.
Next time you see one, bite it.
There's a lot of plants we've talked about.
Line up
where,
that in the boxwood and just go to town.
Welcome to the
What do you got over there? We have boxwood.
Is that man eating plants? He's a brewer.
He's gonna make a beer based with elderflower and boxwood.
I do want to ask a quick question. With the
Allow it.
Yeah, like the esters, Belgian quality of the yeast. Is that imply that it's like a warm?
We're talking about weather again.
No,
Or are you
no,
talking
no.
fermentation?
Fermentation. So
Fermentation.
I mean, with the saison, you can do warm or cool, or with like
Yes.
Hefeweizen, you can do warm or cool, and you get like banana or clove or whatever. So like, I just
Yeah, depending on a lot of the times, depending on not a lot of the times, but all the time, depending on the yeast strain, especially with like Belgian style yeast strains, the temperature will give you those different type of flavor and aroma profiles that we're talking about. Because Brandon and I learned that also when we tried the Tripel for the first time. Depending on a certain temperature, you could get that bubble gum, or you can get clove for another temperature. And it's really interesting because different yeast strains will do different things at different temperatures.
yeah, science.
Science, bitches.
Well, and that's why, like,
It's alive.
when I do my
guy gets
Oktoberfest, it's technically so the yeast that I use can be used at the cold temperatures at like 40 degrees, like I think to like 40 degrees, but up to like 75. And I always, the 2 times I've done that beer, I've done it at like 68 degrees.
It's that warm fermentation
But
of
it gets
lagers.
you all the characteristics that you want
Yeah.
from a lager, because it's the yeast strain
Yeah.
that does that.
Yeah,
Which is nice because we've come such a long way with brewing and science in brewing that, you know, you can do things like that with a lager.
yeah. I was just gonna say, so this being a petite saison, does that just mean like the malt bill is a little less, or I don't know the difference. I don't know. And just,
I don't think
just
anybody
don't,
knows.
that's like
It might just be the
that's
name.
rhetorical.
Yeah. Oh, it's rhetorical.
I don't know.
Jeez. Give us the heads up next time before you ask us. And Joe and I look at each other and we're like, I don't know, maybe you're putting us on the fucking spot.
Little Saison.
Yeah. Lil Saison. It's a rapper.
Little saison.
Hey, that could be your rapper name, dude. You could be Lil Saison.
Or Petite Saison.
Oh, Petite Saison. Ooh. All right. We just found your next job. You're welcome. Joe and I will take credit for that one. This is to me. So, Dan, normally you do this, but it's like this is straw color.
Straw.
Yeah.
I'm not like, this
Straw
is like straight up
color.
straw.
Definition of
Yeah, straw, like it's almost like
Yellow.
Pilsner. Yeah, like
Yeah.
yellow, like Pilsner hay straw.
tiny bit cloudy.
I
Yeah,
love
cloudier than a pills.
I love the aroma
Yeah.
on this. Like, I actually like the aroma more than the actual taste of the beer. And that's not a knock of the actual flavor of the beer, but that aroma is really, really nice. It doesn't.
The aroma is straight like yeast.
Yeah, but to me though, it doesn't smell anything like what I'm getting from the tasting of the beer. If that makes sense.
I can agree
Like,
with that.
It's yeast, a little bit of citrus.
Yeah, it's I mean,
Tiny bit of sweetness. I'd buy this candle.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You've said that.
It's a different variation of what I'm tasting. At least
Yeah.
that's how I am now because of all the other beers that we've tried. Maybe that's why I'm feeling that way about this.
Yeah.
But I kept, as you guys were talking, as you noticed, I talked a lot less of this beer. I spent a lot of time swirling it around, smelling it. Like, I just really enjoy the aroma of the beer. And I really like it. It's good. Again, it still has that like Belgian yeasty-ness to it that I won't necessarily seek out, but put in front of me, or if, you know, going back to Crushed by Giants, I definitely have a pour of this because I've had it. It's delicious.
Yeah.
I like it.
I mean, saisons can vary so much, and this is definitely one that showcases the yeast.
Dan, if someone was walking down the street,
And was their name Zach?
no, we're like, hey man, what do you think about that Petite Saison from Crushed by Giants? What would you say to them?
I would say that if they want to experience what yeast can do in a beer, and without any adjuncts or anything, and be mind blown, to drink this beer.
Wow, fuck, that was deep. He left when you were mid-sentence. Wow. All right, yeah. I think that's a really good description. Fuck you, Dan. Whoa, too much.
We're gonna put that on a T-shirt.
Yeah, I like that. I think what was the beer you said? Yummy too.
It was
That should be on
That
the
was a Bock.
That needs to be on the
It was Bock, yeah.
That needs to be on the can when it actually gets canned. Be like, yummy,
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah. Like I said, I just try to react.
Yeah. I feel like that's
I have
that's
to
the
say,
most honest.
90% of the time I say, ooh, I like it. So it's not that.
I mean, you're being honest at least, you know. Well, you guys, this has been a nice long trip through 3 breweries. This is, I feel like specifically, this has been one of the longest specific. I'm going to keep saying specific. The longest trip we've probably taken through 3 separate breweries, making sure we focused on different beers from these breweries. This has been a lot of fun. Joe, thanks so much, man, for number one, good to see you again.
Good to see you again, too, man. It's only been a decade or 2.
Yeah, that's
but
fine. We'll see if we can rectify it.
Good to be back in the neighborhood. And, much appreciate you guys having me. Had a great time.
Oh, man, thank you.
Hanging out and drinking beer, which is my reason I work in this industry.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's why we do this show, because we like sitting around talking with people who like talking about beer and don't mind sitting around drinking beers with us. Brandon, you got anything else you want to throw out here, man?
No, I just want to say thanks for coming. Thanks for all the beer.
Yeah.
There was a lot.
Delicious beer.
Yeah, and it's cool to hear the history, kind of like the backstory on a lot of these beers, and knowing, who the brewer was on some of these. And looking forward to stopping by and eating some food and talking about it on the chowing hour.
The chow ow. Yeah, the chow. I like that.
We'll happily be your first episode.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we've got a.
Well, actually, we're just gonna keep coming by and just try different things.
Can I throw in a quick plug?
Absolutely.
All right,
Please
so we have a great menu. It's not super long. We've pizzas at every place, but I'm going to challenge everybody to eat our burger at every spot and not say, "Holy shit, that's the best burger I've ever had."
Ooh.
Okay, every single one, and you can do all of our spots in order, and I think you'll say it every time. I'm confident.
What do you got for the vegetarians?
We do. So we have black bean burgers.
Oh yeah.
We have vegetarian Reubens. So yeah, we got you guys hooked up. You're good. You're good.
Okay.
You thought you were gonna get me.
No. That's why I like the cauliflower. But
well, shit.
I was just gonna say
Dan will not be drinking the
end.
steak bock.
Fuck.
I wanted to end with saying that, or on my end at least, that if you ever visit Chicago and you are going to Magnificent Mile, we haven't mentioned that yet, but Crushed by Giants is right next to Magnificent Mile.
Yeah, it's
the Under Armour.
It's literally downtown.
Under Armour is a flagship store on Michigan Ave, and if you're ever there visiting, definitely check out this place for lunch, dinner, whatever, or just stop by for a beer. And they have the full-length glass windows.
Yeah,
nice views.
That was another thing that we didn't really.
You can see Trump Tower. It's amazing.
I don't think you can see that actually.
Actually, you can.
You can see it from my dining room.
But
trust me,
yeah.
we
You can
can
see it.
We took pictures when we were there.
No, I was gonna say that I like.
So when you're on Michigan and you're looking down Ohio Street, I had to work for almost a year to get a sign put up on the side of our building, and we just did it. So hooray!
Awesome.
So when you look down, you'll see a big old Crushed by Giants sign. That's your indication that that's where our business is. And
if you are a foodie and you find yourself at Eatly, kitty corner across the street is Crushed by Giants.
There you go. You're right. Yeah.
Right.
Italy is awesome.
And up until recently, we had the Office Experience across the street. I'm gonna throw a plug, anyways.
I went to that. It was awesome.
I did too. And we're going to. I guess the Prince Experience is coming.
Oh
soon.
yeah, that's right.
So,
That is that's gonna be the same spot?
Yeah.
Oh shit! So you can go to the Prince Experience and then go to Crushed by Giants, or vice versa.
Right. And
And
they
watch a
didn't give
movie.
me any money, so you're welcome, Prince Experience.
Yeah.
And then go get a Nutella crepe at Eatly.
Oh, there we go. Wow.
It's just a nice little afternoon.
Boy, Chicago just sounds fucking great. I need to start to go downtown instead of just hanging
Literally,
out in my house.
you don't have to leave a square block radius to experience so much awesomeness.
I'm just gonna keep recording these podcasts.
Does anybody remember when Chicago used to have the Disney?
Yes.
thing
Oh my
downtown?
god. We can't even get to that. That was so much fun. Dan Blythe and I used to go down there all the time playing
I
Star
went to
Wars
that
arcade
once.
game.
Crazy.
So much fun. Joe, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. I really do. Glad you finally got to come on. And I have a feeling we'll probably hang out with you, whether it's just you coming by and drink some beers, let's talk beer, or if we happen to visit any other breweries individually, which I think we do want to do.
Yeah.
So thanks, man. Is there anything else you wanted to plug?
No,
or
you
throw
guys
out there?
are always you're always welcome. We're gonna be at I think every beer fest in Chicago.
Yeah.
So come by. I'll probably be.
This
pouring
episode
beer.
will be released sometime in April, so don't worry.
Cool. Yeah.
Either the Monday from now or the 2 Mondays after.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll be at Bug. We'll be at the all the stuff downtown. We'll be all over the city pouring beer, and you'll likely see me doing it. So if you see a dude named Joe, I know in beer I say I have glasses and a beard. That doesn't really narrow me down, but
he is wearing a flannel, has a beard, has glasses, and a trucker.
Yeah, trucker hat.
Yeah.
But it's Joe. You'll fucking know it. They'll be like, it's Joe.
Just say, are you Joe? And if I'm not Joe, I'm Frank or Zach or Jacob. And they're all dope too, so you're going to have a good time.
Shit, yeah. Oh, man, I wish we could have just ended the episode right there.
Zach
That would've been
2K.
Great.
Zach 2K.
Frank. Brandon, love you, man.
Love you too, bud.
Dan, welcome back, and I hope we can do more with you because you guys are about to have a baby.
Yep.
That sounded sad. I'm not sad. I'm excited for you. I'm sad I'm not going to see you as much.
We love you, Dad.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
I'm
But
excited.
we live so close. So
That's true,
and
actually. I just
the
need to come
weather
by
is
and see
warming
you.
up, and even if we're not recording, we'll have
You know
people
what?
over.
And we're not afraid to Zoom.
Yeah,
if we
and
can.
also we can come by and just, have a beer with you guys.
Yeah.
And your baby.
Yeah. Well,
Hey, baby, have a beer.
baby beers. Ooh. So we got the doo-doo Bock and baby beer, right? We did that? Okay, cool. Bye. This has been The Malting Hour. Be sure to follow us on all social media by searching The Malting Hour and at themaltinghour.com. You can also follow us individually on social media. Brandon can be found on Instagram as BMDub81, on Twitter, BDub81, and on Untapped as BDubDrinksBeer. Tony can be found on Instagram and Untapped under Ace of Help Chicago, on Twitter, The Ace of Help Chicago. Clark can be found as Clarkowski on all three. Dan can be found on Instagram as hip__hops and hip hops on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe, like, and rate the show on your preferred podcast listening platform. Until next time, cheers from all of us at The Malting Hour.